Competitive research in SEO isn't about copying what your competitors are doing. It's about gathering strategic intelligence. It's about understanding the battlefield before you decide where to attack. When I start with any new client or any consultation, before I even run a full SEO audit, I spend a few hours analyzing their competitors. It tells me almost everything I need to know about the niche, the difficulty, the opportunities, and the unique angle, the unique specificity of search results, keywords, and dynamics within that specific niche. Today, I want to show you my exact workflow for that. We're going to dive deep in SE ranking, and I'll show you how I use the tool to move from guessing to having real data-backed strategy and information about my competitors. I'm going to show you how to do SEO competitive research using one of my favorite, if not the favorite, SEO tools, which is SE ranking. Don't worry, you don't need to have an active SE ranking subscription to be able to follow that tutorial, because SE ranking is very generous and they are giving 1 3-month of access to the tool without any limits and with no credit card required. All you need to do is just subscribe to my SEO newsletter at seosly.io, and once you subscribe, the deal will be automatically sent to you together with a few other extras that I am giving to my SEO subscribers, and they include premium SEO template, Google Studio dashboards, and a few others. Once you are in SE ranking, you just go to research, and then you will have competitive research, and this is the place where we will be doing our competitive research. The first thing, you have the list of competitors. If you don't have the list of competitors, you can easily find them by just looking up the top keywords your website or your client's website wants to rank and simply checking who's ranking. You can also easily identify them using SE ranking. In competitive research, you have a bunch of different options, modules, and I will be going through each one. And let's start with like the foundation, when you simply look up a given competitor. By this point, I assume you know your main competitors and you just want to see how they're doing, what opportunities they may present to you, or what things they're doing that you aren't doing. Very often, you need to be able to differentiate between SEO competitors, SERP competitors, and competitors that your client identifies. Very often, there isn't too much overlap. And once you are clear about what keywords you want to rank, what topics, what questions you want to answer, if you want to think about it in this more modern way, you need to know who you are competing with in search results. And these people, websites you are going to compete with, are not always the websites, the companies that your client thinks they're competing with. Okay, so let's start real quick. All you need to do is you simply enter the domain of the website you want to look up. Let's enter my own domain and let's see what's going on with that competitor. Assuming this is my competitor, I am now in the domain overview where I can see like the higher level overview of this domain and how it is doing. Like here I can see the main markets where this site is ranking, and I can see the numbers of keywords it ranks in those specific markets. In Google US, I am the most popular. I have the biggest number of keywords, right? My second most popular market is UK, and so on and so on. Here we have those standard industry ways of measuring the domain's strength, authority. Each tool has a different name for that. In SE ranking, this is domain trust. This is sometimes also called domain ranking, domain authority, and things like that. Then you have page trust, which is more about like the trust specific pages have. So in plain terms, like how many links specific pages have, or whether it is like mostly your domain name that is getting the domain URL that is getting the majority of clicks. Here we have the estimated organic traffic by the tool based on the keywords the website ranks and the keyword volume data calculations a given tool does. Paid traffic, so information about paid traffic, if this competitor is doing paid traffic, the number of referring domains, and the number of backlinks. Here, something relatively new and something that all of us should now be aware of and should track, which is AIO research, which shows you like the number of mentions in AI overviews my website has, the link presence in how many AI overviews there is a link to my website, and my estimated AIO traffic. So here, as you can see, the estimated traffic from links to your domain in the AI overviews text. One thing that appears here as well, which is super cool, because very often we don't have time to do those more, I would say, impactful things. And here, by just going into this specific competitive research overview, you can identify high-level potential keywords. You can also get to know your competitors, something I talked about in the beginning. So if you're not sure like what your competitors are, or you have a small list from your client, then you can go to this report and you will see your SERP competitors. And also here, for example, you can find missing keywords. So check basically like the keyword gap analysis. You can see the keywords your competitors rank versus the keywords you don't rank for. Here you have traffic distribution by country. Again, very useful because if the country you are targeting isn't on top, isn't the first one, then you may have a problem. Then you have total traffic, right, month by month, and the chart is also showing you AA overviews, traffic, of course, keywords. So the number of organic keywords over time, you can select 6 months, 12, 30, 36 months, all, and you can see the website's trajectory since, I think, 2020. Traffic cost, this is also estimate, and backlinks, like how the number of backlinks evolved, changed over time. Here you have organic keywords, so you can see like the overview of all keywords, improved keywords that improved recently, decreased keywords, so the other way around, new keywords, lost keywords. When you land a new client or when you are simply analyzing your competitor, and there was, for example, a Google algorithm update, you may want to see like what types of keywords they lost, because after some core updates, the keywords you lose are not really the keywords you should rank for, so this isn't really a loss for you, and knowing that is important. Here you have organic competitors based on the keywords I rank for. SE ranking identifies my organic competitors. So if you are ranking for a lot of irrelevant terms, then what you see here in those organic competitors, because these aren't the competitors you specifically selected, these are the ones the tool is showing you, then you may have irrelevant websites here, so you always need to take a look at that. Let me get back to that report real quick, and here you have keywords by intent. So the keywords I'm ranking for, what's their intent, and the percentage. As you can see in the case of my website, the majority of keywords are informational, and those keywords usually they simply work differently than navigational keywords or transactional keywords, and it all depends on the type of website you have and the type of niche you are in. And SERP features. I can see the SERP features, so AA overviews in 1,600 keywords. There is also a site link. I can see in how many keywords with SERP features I am placed. In featured snippets, there are 10. AA overviews, there is like 1,000.6, so which is quite okay. Images, reviews, and so on. You can also click show more, and here you will see all the SERP features that appear in the keywords I rank for, but where I'm not present. Distribution of organic keyword ranking, like what's the percentage of my keywords where I rank on position 1 to 5. Here I can see that 30% of the keywords I rank for are in position 1 to 5. Usually, in most cases, the better your website becomes, the more it grows, then you shouldn't expect that one day you will see all of your keywords in position 1 to 5. This is impossible. The bigger the website grows, the more keywords it will have on those other lower positions, the keywords which aren't synonyms to like the main keywords it ranks for, but which are kind of like related in some way. So seeing that you have more keywords on those other sections doesn't necessarily mean you have a problem. Here I am quite happy with the fact that on page 1, the majority of keywords are in position 1 to 5. Here you can see a comparison with your competitors. Here LinkedIn is chosen as my competitors. So as you can see, I'm basically non-existent here. Distribution of organic competitors. This works great once you identify your competitors, which I will show you in just a second. Here, organic pages. In top pages in organic search, so the best performing pieces of content, and my number one for many years has been Bing search operators. I think this was the first or one of the first blog articles I wrote on my SEO Slide website. If there are paid campaigns, you can also like take a peek into them and maybe learn something from that, but this isn't necessarily like my piece of cake, so I won't be talking about that much. Now let's move to organic traffic research, where you can research the keywords your specific competitors are ranking for and decide to target them or to analyze them more deeply and see how they were progressing. For organic traffic research, let's use SEO ranking website. And let's say this is my competitor and I want to now research them a little bit more. Keywords, again, I'm seeing the keywords they're ranking for using various presets or filters depending on what I am really looking for. I can narrow down this list to just find the keywords I am interested in researching more. So let's say SEO audits, maybe. Okay, I have a keyword here, white label SEO audits. I want to research that keyword a little bit more. Let's click here and let's research that keyword in more depth. This is the overview of that keyword. I can see its difficulty, search volume, so how it is changing. I can see similar keywords, probably the keywords I would also want to target, related keywords, which may be similar or maybe different. In some cases, they are different. In most cases, these are like more either similar but separate topics or higher level topics like white label SEO. If I have a page about white label SEO, I can have the white label SEO audit like as a subpage of that. Here, the most important part for researching a keyword of your competitor is SERP overview. Looking at SERPs, I cannot highlight it enough, is the most important thing in researching keywords and researching competitors. Here you can see the SERP overview and you can see what pages rank for that keyword. You can see here ranking dynamics, so you can see how rankings changed over time. You also can see when a specific Google update happened, so you can correlate. For example, here you can see the update, and after that update you can see that this SPP, this page which went down, now went up, kind of got back. Of course, you can change the timeline to be 36 months, and you can see that this page specifically wasn't really stable and was kept coming back and kept disappearing. SE ranking has been quite stable over those 3 years. This is also something very important to always take into account. If there are ads, you will see some information here. When you are on that page analyzing a specific keyword, you also want to see the full SERP overview, where you will have more information. You can see the number of backlinks, referring domain. You can see those authority signals. You can also see total traffic to that specific page. Of course, estimated the number of keywords this page ranks for, and you can simply better assess whether it's worth for you to go over that keyword or whether it doesn't make sense for your site. If you click here, you will see this overview in the same window, which in some cases may be easier. Let's say I think this is the keyword I want to add to my campaign and start tracking. You can add it to project and start tracking right away. You can also add it to your keyword manager list, and you can also even start writing brief and article about that keyword. So a few very useful options. Of course, you can do that for multiple keywords as well. And of course, you can see what URL is ranking for that specific keyword on the website you are researching. Here, competitors, I touched upon this briefly, so you can see the main competitors, SERP competitors, and their numbers, and their keywords, and traffic cost, and all of that. You can also see the pages, so what pages are performing best, what pages have the most traffic, the biggest number of keywords. Here we can see that this is website traffic tracker. If you have subdomains, you will have information about that, or if the website you are researching ranking changes, you can also see what has been changing over a specific period of time. Here we have it since May 2020, and here we can see exactly what has been changing, and you can see the keywords, and you can track those changes for basically every keyword. Here you have traffic distribution by country, which again is very important to know, because if you know the country you have the biggest traffic from, then you can adjust the content, your message to that country better. Paid traffic search, this also allows you to reverse engineer the paid campaigns of your competitors in a similar way. I won't be talking about that because ads is not really my piece of cake. I haven't been doing ads for more than 10 years, so I won't be saying anything here. Competitor comparison, this is super useful. Here you actually get to define your competitors. If we are talking about SEO, these are mostly SERP competitors. Let's enter search engine journal here, and let's enter maybe Ahrefs. Probably they aren't my competitors in this specific sense, but they both have blogs and they write on overlapping topics. So show results. Now I can see the visibility of my website compared to Ahrefs, and compared to Search Engine Journal. As you can see, these are big competitors for me, and I can see that these are common keywords that Ahrefs and Search Engine Journal have, and these small part are the common keywords that we all have. Here I can review those keywords, and I can use that data basically to inform my strategy. There are a lot of filters available, like SERP features. So if I want to focus on keywords that have featured snippets, then I can use that filter. Here you can see common keywords, so the keywords we share and the positions each of us has for that specific keyword. Here I can see the keywords that I am missing relating to those two competitors. And here I can see the unique keywords I have and that competitors do not have. You can look at that group of competitors from different angles and really draw very useful, powerful conclusions to your strategy and how strong these competitors are, how big of an overlap there is between you and those competitors. Another thing, I am showing this as part of my AI overviews video, but this is something I cannot skip here. So AIO research basically allows you to research a domain only in terms of the keywords it ranks for, which trigger AI overviews. You can see how many mentions there are and how many links you basically have from AI overviews. So in how many overviews there is a link to your website. And of course, other data like average position, traffic, dynamics, overall traffic from AIO over time. I can see that since August 2024, the organic traffic was like that, overall traffic was like that, and traffic from AIO has been going up steadily starting in January this year, and in June it started to even go up faster. Here, all the keywords where I am present, where a link to my website is present, and I can preview the snippet and see actually on what position there is my link. Other search engines, there is an AI overview, and within that AI overview, I have a position of 10 plus, I think. So probably not a very powerful position. It's like this AI overview is like a new version of the old 10 blue links, which is nested within the current search results, which are slightly different. We can think of it this way. This is what I wanted to show you regarding doing competitive research using SEO ranking. As you can see, you can look at your competitors from different angles, and something which is very important, you can look at them from this AIO research perspective, something that is becoming more and more important because AI overviews now appear in more than 50% of search results. Definitely being there and at least knowing if you are there, knowing what keywords trigger that is essential for your strategy, because you may not want to target some keywords, or you may just want to target keywords that do not have AI overviews as of now. You probably know that by now. AI overviews dramatically decrease the click-through rate to websites. So usually the numbers are from 20-something% to even 60+% of reduction in clicks to your website. You need to know what you want to target, whether there is an AI overview, whether there is a chance for you to be there, whether you want to be there, and so on and so forth. Let's recap the workflow. You start with the big picture. You simply use the competitive research to understand your competitors' numbers, their authority numbers, and all of that. Then you want to dive into details. So you want to analyze their top keywords, their top pages, to understand their tactics and to find maybe the golden content pillars, something that you may have missed. You can go into specific details and do the keyword gap analysis, compare competitors, where you can basically see where you're missing, where they're missing, and find the best opportunities there. Doing this once is insightful. Making this a habit is what changes the game. I recommend doing a quick check on your competitors like that at least once a month. The SEO landscape industry, as you can see, is changing fast, and a competitor could launch a new content hub or could start targeting a new set of keywords, and you probably want to know about it. This process turns competitive research from a daunting task into a clear, repeatable system. It's how you stop guessing and you simply start building the strategy that is informed by real-world data. So get in there, start analyzing, and see what you can find. I think you will be surprised at the opportunities you can uncover. Remember, if you sign up for my SEO newsletter at seoslide.io, you will get a special deal for SEO ranking, and you will be able to use the tool for a month for free, no credit card required. Plus, you will get a bunch of other gifts, my templates, my Google Looker Studio dashboards, and that's not all. I hope you find this video helpful. Please let me know in the comments, like your hacks, your thoughts, your questions. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.